You know, when you talk about great teams, I think that has to start with players. Let's be real. You know, you have to have some ponies that can play the game a little bit. And I think, you know, some years you do, some years you have more than others. So I think it starts with players, and that, you know, kind of parlays into, are they healthy or not? So you have to have great players, first and foremost. And then, are those players selfless? Do they truly care about their fellow player more than they care about themselves? That is very rare. And I think usually by the time we get them in varsity football, it might be too late sometimes. You know, we're dealing with kids who've had, you know, 15 to 16 years of conditioning poured into their brains, and sometimes I think we're crazy to think that we can change that hard wiring in, you know, 100 days, you know, in the fall. And so, you know, that's why, you know, it's really important for your lower levels to really preach that message that you need to be selfless, and that nobody here is bigger than the Go-Hawks. Nobody's bigger than the Go-Hawks, and nobody ever will be bigger than the Go-Hawks. And so that's our message from the time they can pretty much walk. And then the end goal. You know, do they have one end goal? Maybe some guys' end goal is to get a scholarship. Maybe the next guy's end goal is to have a jersey to give to his girlfriend. Maybe the next guy's end goal for being off of football is to not have to go home and work on the farm. And so, you know, what is their end goal? Is the end goal really one thing? Do they have one thing that they can all agree on why they're there? And some years you don't have that. Some years you do, so the great ones do. Got to have great parents. You can't do it without great parents. I think we've been really blessed to have exceptional parents at Waverly Shellrock for a very, very long time. And so you say, well, what makes a great parent, right? I think I think we are genetically predisposed to want to protect. We want to protect our young. If we see our kids struggling or hurting, we want to protect. We hate to see our kids, if it's a paper cut or a skin knee, we want to protect our kids. And so it's so hard as parents to see our kids struggle. And, you know, and that is probably where you know, when I see parents who, you know, are involved, and maybe they're too involved because they just don't want to see their kids struggle, and then that leads to a lot of, you know, selfishness and different things, and we can call what you want, but there's some struggle that as parents, and I'm learning this, you know, I'm learning this as I go, we have to let them struggle. You know, if it's not going to hurt them mentally, emotionally, physically, then that struggle probably needs to happen. And then what's the end goal of the parents? You know, is the end goal of the parents to have their kid be all state because they couldn't get on the field? Is the end goal of the parent to have their kid be great so they can brag about their kid? Or is the end goal of the parent to be able to sit in a church someday at a wedding and watch this kid stand up there and get married, and he's got a great job and a great wife, and he's going to start a great family, and he's going to contribute? So what's their end goal, you know? And then great coaches. When I came to Waverly Shellrock, I think I was just about the youngest guy on the staff. And so they've done a great job, you know, all throughout. And so great coaches, ironically, it's the same as the parents, it's the same as the players. Are they selfless? One of the most selfless coaches I've ever coached with is a guy by the name of Tony D'Souza. He's a special teams coach at Union High School, and he took me under his wing way back, and, you know, he was selfless. He didn't care about, you know, what his role was. He just was there for the kids. And then the next thing was the coach is, what's the end goal of the coach? Is the coach just trying to climb the ladder? Does the coach only want to call the plays? Does the coach only want to be there to call the plays and not come to the weight room and not come to all the equipment stuff and sit, you know, and hand out equipment on a 100-degree day? Does he only want to call the plays? And so when you can get these three groups of people, the players, the parents, and the coaches, who are all, really they all think being selfless is the number one goal. And then if the end goal is the same, you know, here we preach, you know, our vision statement here is students, athletes, and teammates. And so if we can become great students, become great athletes, become great teammates, we're pretty sure if that's the end goal, then, you know, the winning will take care of itself.